What's poppin'? We have an issue, and that is I'm a freaking mess. We need to do something about that right now. Let's get to it.
I know we're acting stupid, we're being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish, but it feels so young. Just go a little crazy and lose it. I don't care if we're dumb, it's the only way we know how to do it. Make me feel so young.
You see, this project of building an app has quite quickly grown into something which is much larger than I first anticipated. And if you think about it, these kinds of projects, when you build it in a company, there's hundreds of developers working on this kind of stuff. But here it's just me, and I barely know how to code. I'm learning along the way and trying to get all this stuff done. But I think that part's going quite well. What's not going so well though, is keeping track on all the things I have to do. You know, I do something, I do some code, I find a little bug here, I find another bug there. I was like, okay, I want to add that function there sometime. But how do I keep track of that? Like right now, it's just notes upon notes upon notes in 4 different notebooks mixed with my stuff from my daytime job, just scribbles on the back of paper. It's all over the place. There's some on my computer. I need to get this sorted. So step 1, I need to find software or piece of software that I can use in order to plan all of the things which I need to do and keep track of that, so I can get it done on time. I don't do any slacking, and I make sure that everything which needs to get done gets done. So previously I worked with both ClickUp and the software called Jira, and basically it's like a nice drag and drop. You have, this is the stuff you need to do, this is the status, this is the ones that are done, this is the one that are on hold, this is in progress, etc. But I don't really know which one is better, so I did some research and I looked into some reviews and read a bit about both of them, and I found, okay, Jira, this is the one we're gonna go with. This is also the one I have the most experience with. So basically what Jira is, it's a software where you put in a bunch of tasks, you add them to a sprint, for example, you add them to a backlog, you add them to a project, and you add them to different types of categories. So I added, for example, bugs, app functionalities, other to-dos, and then for each one of them you can write a little to-do or a little instruction, as well as a definition, and this is the one which I think is important, a definition of when it's done. Because it's quite, when you're working on something, just going along the flow, it's quite easy to just say, okay, I'm done now. But in reality, you're not done. You're just happy in the moment. But when you write that definition from the beginning, from the get-go in Jira, it will say definition of done, and then you can go back, okay, did I actually do this, or am I kind of done, or am I fully done? You get the full definition. So I went ahead and I set up a Jira board for this project, and I made, the whole timeline. So by the mid-October I want to have a working prototype of the app, which by the way is very ambitious when I think about it, but we're gonna get it done even if that means not sleeping. I think it's gonna help quite a lot, and I think when I set it up it looks really good too, When you have a Jira board for your software project, it looks like you know what you're doing. And I don't really know what I'm doing, so it's like it complements each other, That's number 1. I think this is gonna help a lot with the overall productivity and the overall features of this app. And also further along, when I start finding more bugs in the user case, I'll be able to add them to Jira too, prioritize them based on that, and then work according to that. Secondly, I'm going to start working with something else in order to maximize how much I get done and keep track of it, as well as be more mindful, because it's 2021 and we're all hippies to some extent, right? And that is, yes, it is writing a journal. So in here I'm going to be keeping a track of, I'm going to do something called bullet journaling. I've done this for 1 week already, so kind of, not really part of this video, but I'm kind of squeezing it in there, But I've been doing this for a week already, and kind of what you do is you write bullets what you have to do for each day. So this is the ones that are important, this is the ones I moved to the next day, this is the ones I crossed off because it turned out that it's not important, etc, etc. So with this, hopefully I should be able to organize when I work on my own other stuff for my company, because I still have other stuff to work on, when I work on my daytime job, when I go to the gym, when I blah blah blah, do laundry, all that kind of stuff, do other things as well. I'll be able to make sure I get it done and keep track of it here. I also added this other stuff which is quite nice, which is, for example, a tracker to keep track of how much I work, so I'm not slacking too much, but also so I'm not working myself to complete exhaustion, and also how much I'm sleeping to make sure that, you know, I'm actually not working too much and sleeping at the same time. So far it's been going pretty good, and I think we're already somewhat more organized than just a day ago, so that's a plus. Now there's one final thing which I'll be doing, and that's because of something I experienced with my last coding project. When I built this other app, I took the 3 months, more probably 4 months, learned how to code, developed it. It was a cocktail app, by the way, and I released it to the Google Play Store. However, 2 months later, my laptop just completely fried. It crashed. I had most things backed up, but because this coding project was in, you know, a different folder which was not backed up on the computer, I lost all of it. So I don't have access to that app anymore. So what I need to do is I need to go onto this place called GitHub, and I need to connect my app to a GitHub repository in order to track all of the changes which I made to the code, which is just not only good for trackability and be able to revert back to old functions in case you messed anything up along the process, but also in case my local computer crashes for some reason, which it really shouldn't do because it's a brand new Mac Mini that I paid goddamn 12,000 Swedish crowns for. If though so happens to crash, I'll still be able to use this project and recover all the files which I've used, etc. So it wouldn't really be a problem in that way. And with those 3 changes, the Jira board, the journaling, hippie life, the GitHub repository, we should be organized, and so I think now we're ready to take this to the next level, you know, work efficiently, get stuff done, get the right things done, because that's also a big part in any of these projects, making sure that you work on the right things and not just work on anything and everything which moves, unlike my dating standards, and make sure that you prioritize the function which will actually drive value and make the app both usable and good to use for the end user. So with that said, I'll see you in the next episode. Hopefully we'll get some more coding done then, but this was just like a, you know, let's calm things down, let's get it organized and start moving from there. See you later.
I know we're acting stupid,